Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Let's see if we could do this without this phone overheating. If you're new, hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell. And make sure you watch all of the videos. And I appreciate you guys sharing my video with your friends and family. Look, let's just go through the market today. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be watching the playoffs. But let's look at a few things that's going on. I just put some drops in my eyes, so I'm gonna hold these glasses on. Look, in London, on Monday in London, the president said that the U.S. economic team will meet with China, with their China counterparts. Okay, that includes Scott Bessent and Howard Lutnick. You guys know who those two are by now. If not, please Google them and see who they are and their positions. Now, this could be positive, just the fact that their meeting was positive, okay? We had good jobs numbers last weekend, should I say last week. We had good job data, and that helped to push the market up, though we had a feud going on. I'll get to that in a minute. But we had good economic news, all right? And that's good for inflation. Right? Good jobs are good for inflation. Remember, we don't want to lose real estate and we don't want to lose jobs. Okay. Those are lagging indicators that we are heading towards a recession, right? But it was good. So that's good. Now, all we need is for the Fed to consider, which he's in no rush. Let's just call it what it is. We need the Fed to consider lowering interest rates. Now, in the past, I knew that he couldn't and he wouldn't, right? But we're getting there now, right? And so he probably needs to consider it. Let's see what it is, but we cannot invest based on what ifs. We need something solid. All right. The indices closed higher after strong jobs. I just went over that. The stock market near all-time highs again. And that's something that I want to talk about at the end of this video. Bitcoin holds above 105K even after the battle. Even after the battle. What battle? The battle of Elon, or should I say the war of Elon and President Trump. It is a verbal war layered with threats. Okay, let me close this a little bit. So this war was layered with a lot of threats, but just like I thought, cooler heads are starting to prevail. The various teams are starting to get together and talk to both of them and say, hey, chill. You got wealthy investors saying, please, guys, let's just kiss and make up. This is not good for the market. It's not good for America. It's not good for you guys, which is true. You know, it's not good for the most powerful man in the world and the wealthiest man in the country to be arguing, okay? Especially after they partner. It's just not good for the market. Regardless of who you voted for, the market did not like it, good people. The market did not like it. You got Tesla tanked. You got Dogecoin tanked. Why? Because they were both tied to Elon. But then on the other hand, you had DJT, Donald J. Trump stock tank. And so people were telling both of you gentlemen that they don't like this fight. That's what the market says. And then the entire stock market dove. And then what? Crypto did the same thing. It followed suit. So nobody's a winner in this. All right. I know some of you guys have got popcorn and you're on the sidelines seeing who's going to win while you're losing because your stock are going down. Right. So let's be careful. Let's keep our eye on the prize in spite of this. But there's a lesson in this. And I always say the onset of war, meaning soon as war starts, it's usually a good time to buy. It's usually a good time to buy. Now, I went live twice and I did a video to just lay everything out. It's up to you guys to make a decision, not wait on me to say buy this and buy that. Though I did tell you I was going to buy more Bitcoin. I said I'm probably going to buy more Bitcoin tonight, and I did. And I alerted everybody in Money Moves and bought more Bitcoin and bought more that night at 101, and now it's 105. And that was my biggest, purchase, right? Now, I'm gonna bring up a few odd crypto, okay? And some of you guys are gonna say, why are you talking about those? They're trash. Okay, well, let's see. Now, of course, I'm telling you guys that 80% of the purchasing I did was Bitcoin. 80%, right? Now, I want you guys to hear that. 80% of what I bought was Bitcoin, right? Because some people have selective hearing. Now, I did do some more crypto buying for swing trades, because I'm going to pop these puppies once they bump again. XCN, okay? Onyx. X, C as in cat, N as in Nancy. That was a swing trade for me. And I bought some, and it's still down. So I'm still buying. I'm still buying XCN, all right? I'm just letting you guys know I'm still buying XCN. But XCN will pop hard, and it will drop hard. And I'm buying it because it hasn't rebounded since Bitcoin went back up. And I'm not front-ending all of it. I just bought some, a nice little chunk out of the other 20% of money that I spent. Remember, 80 on Bitcoin at 100 and 101. But then I also purchased a little Bunk and Pepe. And those are going to be swing trades. All three, XCN, Bunk, and Pepe, what I bought on the dip is going to be swings, okay? And I have some I'm holding and see where we go from that. But those are swing trades. What I'm holding is Bitcoin, all right? I want to be crystal clear that 80% of the money I spent that night that I told you guys, the night of the war, was the verbal war, was that. It was on Bitcoin, and then I bought some XCN for a swing trade. Pepe and Bunk, those twins, they actually pop well after things have went back up, after Bitcoin has normalized or stabilized and went back up, and then I sell it. I mean, I'm holding, not in those, my Bitcoin I am, but I'm just swing trading those, making my money, and I'm deuces, I'm out. I want you guys to understand this. I want you guys to go back, and I want you to look at every single opportunity that some of you missed because of fear. Every time something happens, the war, a real physical war, we got wars going on with the Ukraine, Russia. We got the Gaza Strip. We got the Gaza Strip going on. We got the war with Israel. We guys know there's wars everywhere. We got China threatening. Okay, we got all of these wars going on, wars and rumors of wars going on. And at the onset, soon as it happens, or soon as all your local news stations are talking about an airstrike or whatever, that's generally the best time to buy. But we don't out of fear. And I want you to manage your emotions, which is half of the battle. And I want you, not in any stock, not in any crypto, I just want you to just go back in time and see that every single time it was a time to buy. And not all of the time just to buy for your long term, but some are just swing trades, okay? Some are just swing trades. I'm gonna get some water. All right, we back. I had to get some water, man. These allergies are tearing your boy up. But listen, I want you to understand this, and I'm shifting into my inspirational. Fear not. Fear not. Fear not is mentioned hundreds of times in one form or another in the Bible. Fear not, fear not, fear not, fear not. 83% of the things that you worry about, over 83, never comes to pass. And we live in a state of fear. And that's why in the Bible, hundreds of times, God says, fear not, fear not, fear not. And does it mean that you have a foolish fearlessness? No, that doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that you tempt God. It doesn't mean that you kiss a snake in the mouth. It doesn't mean that you put your head in the mouth of a lion, but you just don't live in fear. You live in favor. And I keep saying that here. And if you go back, I challenge each and every one of you to go back, even in your investing. When fear grips you, you miss out. And sometimes that fear is tied to greed. Sometimes you holding on to an option play or a stock that's near the high, and you're fearing that you're going to miss out. Okay? You're fearing that you're going to miss out and you should sell. But on the flip side of that, sometimes you're in fear because Tesla's dropping like a rock. At some point, Tesla's a buy. Bitcoin is dropping like a rock. Yes, but when are you going to buy it? Because it's not over. Tesla's not over. Bitcoin's not over. Nvidia's not over. So what I challenge you to do is to find out what is a good purchase price. And then if it falls lower than that, fear not. Just hold, okay? Now let's go back to mentally and spiritually. Fear not. I challenge you to live in favor and not fear. I challenge you not to be fearful of everything, because I know a few people that every single thing that could happen is what they're fearing. And that is not. He is not giving you a spirit of fear, but of strong mind, okay? And so I want you to adopt that in your trading, but I also want you to adopt that in your personal lives. Don't live in fear that you're going to fail physically. Don't live in fear that you're going to lose your job, and what if I lose my job, and this and that. Fear is the killer of a million dreams. Fear is the killer of some of you starting your own business. Fear is the killer of some of you writing your book, doing your stage play, okay? Investing, right? Fear kills all of that. Fear is a dream killer. And I'm challenging you to study first, okay? And then push past fear, because fear had held me down for years before I got into this. And you know what got me into this market to be blessed enough to talk to you guys? It wasn't fear. It was COVID. And you know what COVID did for me personally? It removed all fear, because a rock can't fall from the ground. I had nothing to lose because I had already lost everything. My wife had a job. I had a job. We both got a rug pull. They were gone. House notes, car notes, still just like anybody else. But I removed fear, and I looked at the area that God has blessed me with in my area of brilliance. And I'm going to challenge you not to be discomforted by that word, because if you have ears to hear me today, you have an area of brilliance. Every person born of man and woman has brilliance in them, but we don't operate in that area. I don't care how rough you got it. I don't care. Like I said, one of the top speakers right now has no legs and no arms, but he tapped into his area of brilliance. God created you with your own identification, your own fingerprint, your own DNA, and he gave you an area of brilliance. My question to you is are you going to be ruled by fear or what? Favor. Favor, good people. Let's operate in the favor, the God-given favor that you have. You have it already. He's waiting on you, all right? I'm going to leave it right there, good people. I'm going to have to go take something else for these allergies. And you know what? I'm believing that one day these allergies will be gone, even if I have to leave this area. That's what I'm living in favor, all right? All right, I love you guys. Think about what I said. Let's look at what these markets bring us. And just remember, there's going to be so many other opportunities to buy dips or to get in, all right? Whether it be the S&P 500, the SPY, the Qs, or Bitcoin or crypto. Plenty of opportunities. The question is, when that opportunity is looking you right in the face, will you be in fear, or will you will you understand the opportunity that's been given you? Even if the president says something or tweets something that flushes the markets out, both markets, will you see that as an opportunity, or will you live in fear? All right, good people, I'm gonna leave it right there. I love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and learn.